Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, August 12th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are higher by 0.25% this morning. It's really due to the positive round of tech earnings from last night. It's supporting the narrative of the AI trade, and we're seeing tech stocks rally this morning, which is positive. Oil prices, on the other hand, they're flat to higher. We don't really have anything new coming out. We have, conflicting statements about when the Strait of Hormuz will open up or if it's not. So, in lieu of like a real specific decision, the markets are questioning it. And when the markets start to question it, you start to see, some volatility kick in. And that's why we're seeing some elevated oil prices today. On the economic calendar, today's the big one with that inflation report. We get the CPI report due out before the bell. That's going to be the big read. In corporate news, Goldman Sachs did a buyout this morning. Bank of America announced that they're launching a $250 billion critical infrastructure financing initiative. Eli Lilly filed 6 new lawsuits in an effort to shut down these black market operations for their new weight loss drug, that they are releasing. NVIDIA is introducing 800 VDC power systems for AI data centers. That's all positive. On the earnings front, we got Kava, we got CoreWeave, we got Light, we got SMCI. They're all trading higher after their earnings. And after the bell today, you got Cisco, you got CBRS and COHR all scheduled to report. And tomorrow morning, JD.com. Tapestry, TPR, Birkenstock, and GDS are scheduled to report. Birkenstock's really interesting because the put volume was so high yesterday, but it looks like it was more of a spread type, so I think it might have been a little more of a bullish transaction, but the put volume was very elevated in Birkenstock yesterday. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the European markets, and we got to start with the DAX, which is up 0.42%. Gains are being driven in tech and industrial stocks. Some losses in telecom and automakers. So then you got London, the FTSE. The FTSE is also trading higher. The FTSE just turned negative. It's now down 0.03%. There's weakness in oil and pharma stocks, but gains in aerospace stocks. But, the market's essentially flat. The CAC in Paris is down 0.2%, with gains in tech shares being offset by the weakness in luxury stocks, and luxury stocks are the key to that index. Turning the page and looking over at Asia last night, we got the Nikkei, which was closed yesterday, but it did reopen. It was up 553 points at 0.83%. Financial stocks led the move higher. The yen weakened, which caused financial stocks to move a little higher. Tech shares also advanced. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng fell 0.83%. There's weakness in bank stocks. Elevated oil prices kind of dipped into the returns last night. In China, the Shanghai finished higher by 0.32%. Tech higher due to the positive earnings forecasts. Then you got oil, and oil is ticking higher this morning. We got WTI at $83.67 a barrel. That's up 0.56%. We got Brent trading at $89.20, up 0.33%. Conflicting reports over the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is keeping oil prices in a tight trading range, but moving higher. Last night's API data showed that stockpiles rose by over 9 million barrels for the week ending August 7th. That's typically bearish for oil prices. Let's move on into earnings, and let's talk about LITE. Listen, first off, the stock's up 7.78%. They beat by 26 cents on higher revenue. Then you look at SMCI, Supermicron. They're up 8.8% this morning. They beat by 74 cents, but they did miss on revenue. And CRWV, which is CoreWeave, that stock's up 18%. They beat by 6 cents on higher revenue. It still came in at a loss, but it was better than what was the expected loss that we had on the book. So CoreWeave was a winner last night. Upcoming after the bell, we got Cisco Systems. Their EPS is $1.17. Expected move is 8%. We got CBRS, Charlie Boy, Richard Sam. Their EPS is for a loss of 21 cents. Expected move is 15%. On the economic front, the key report today is going to be the CPI report. Inflation should be moderate. Let's face it, people put a lot of attention on the CPI report because the Fed does use it when they're making policy decisions. But the next policy decision is not until September. So we're going to get the August CPI before that meeting. The August CPI is going to be more important than the July reading. At 10:30 a.m., we get the EIA oil stockpiles report due out. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about some stocks on the move. Amazon. New York City mayor, he's looking to have Amazon reclassify a number of its workers, specifically delivery workers. He thinks that they should be employed as employees rather than contractors. Amazon doesn't want this, of course, but they may have to do this. Google, Ryanair signs a 5-year cloud agreement, an AI deal with Google Cloud. Meta's facing that landmark trial case in California over 29 claims from 29 states, alleging that improperly captured data from minors and designed its social media program to addict children. Ooh, they're going to have a hard time with this one. There's a story out there about a Tesla SpaceX merger that would give Elon Musk a $1 trillion pay package. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, NVIDIA, that Super Micron report, the board gave no update into the Super Micron chip smuggling act that was going on. Microsoft OpenAI announces Daybreak capabilities that are available through Amazon's Bedrock. Goldman Sachs is going to acquire Neos, which is an asset management firm, in a $2.3 billion deal. In terms of merger news, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, RMCF, their board's looking for a sale and other options. In terms of guidance, Supermicron sees Q1 coming in around $1.01. Street estimates at 76 cents. That's an uptick. CoreWeave, they're looking at Q3 revenue coming in $3.45 billion to $3.6 billion. Street estimates $3.42. That's an uptick. Okay, we're talking buyback news. Trimble, TRMB, Tom Richard, Michael Boy. The board announced a 1 billion share buyback program. Okay, now we're going to move on to today's pick of the day, and I'm going to go with JD.com. Earnings are out Thursday morning. EPS is 86 cents. Expected move is 5.23%. Yesterday's call volume was positive. We got 17,115 calls, traded at 10,553 puts. That's a put-call ratio of 0.62. That's positive. Open interest, 130,448K versus 51,805K on the put side. That's positive. And the major brokers are raising price targets. They're saying 36, so that's good to see. In terms of an entry point, I'm going to say somewhere between 31 and 31.15. This is where I kind of like the stock at. I do think we can see a spike higher from there. So that's my pick of the day. JD.com between 31 and 31.15 today. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the stocks hitting the news on the tape last 15, 20 minutes or so. Thermo Fisher completes the sale of its microbiology business to Astrog for $1.075 billion. S&P Global expands collaboration with Microsoft. Lockheed Martin LMT collaborates for Verizon, NVIDIA, and Keysight on NetSense. Air Canada announces a $2.5 billion minority equity stakes in Aeroplan. BLTE got FDA acceptance and priority review for one of their drugs. That's positive. BLTE. All right, that's all I'm saying this morning. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to talk about yesterday's pick of the day, which was ticker LQDA, Larry, Quinton, David, Apple. Wasn't horrible. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at $90.83, and then it ran to a high at $93.61. But, towards the end of the day, it closed at $88.03. call volume remained strong all day. So the 1% was there, but it's fallen a little bit. Like it's down like 1.5% this morning after earnings. But don't count this one out yet because the earnings weren't bad. They missed by 2 cents, but the revenue, they beat on revenue, which was good. So LQDA was a winner yesterday. It's trading a little off this morning, but I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I'm still positive on LQDA. All right, traders, that wraps up today's podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.